Hello and welcome to Nation Talks. It's a Metamorphs initiative, and I'm Preeti Prakash. Metamorphs is a non-profit voluntary group organization conceived and fostered by 10 veterans committed to nation building, restoring social values in society, nurturing lost glory of the veterans, and thus contributing positively in whichever ways they can. Do visit www.metamorphs.org for more about it. John Quincy said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, to do more, to learn more, and to become more, you are the leader. I have one such tall leader with me today. He has to his credit more than a dozen awards, including Inspiring CEO, Technology Icon of India 2020, Best CEO of the Year, Forbes India Leadership Award 2015, and many more like this. He has featured in the Harvard case study on Tech Mahindra and the acquisition of Satyam Computers. Let me introduce my guest to you. He is none other than Mr. C.P Gurnani. He's the Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of Tech Mahindra.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you for having me on this nation building program.
So now, as far as the nation and the country is concerned, we've just got over with the 74th Independence Day celebrations. But our Prime Minister has been since earlier saying, that he aims at making India a 5 trillion economy. How do you see it, sir?
I'm a huge admirer of goals, aspirations, and ambition. To me, a dream is a seed in the mind. And if we choose to back it up with actions, I think the dreams do become a reality. So I'm happy that as a nation, we are aspiring and will deliver a $5 trillion economy. And I'm more excited because I know it will be a combination of things. Combination of rural India continuing to play an important role in how India flourishes and becomes a powerhouse. I am more excited because technology will become the ultimate driver for economic growth. I do believe that the nation has shown an appetite for better infrastructure development, and the way the investments have continued to pour in towards Industry 4.0, manufacturing, startups, build-up of the unicorns. I think it's a great aspiration. Like in any other road, there will be speed breakers, there would be bumps on the road, but that should not hold us back.
My question to you is that unemployment and job loss is the biggest challenge that people are facing these days. How do you think can this be addressed?
Look at the new employment creation. Let's all go back a few years. Did we have the scale of the delivery boys that we have today? Did we have the scale of Uber drivers that we have today? Did we have the number of cafe days or the coffee shops that we had those days? When I was growing up, the whole city used to have one Indian coffee house. Now, you find that as a mushrooming growth. What does it teach you? It teaches you that anticipate the jobs of the future. I mean, I come across youngsters who have their own video channels or YouTube channels, and they make decent money. There is a young girl that I came across who teaches youngsters how to do makeup, and she makes decent money on that YouTube channel. One of the girls teaches choreography. She dances to her heart's content. She would have danced anyway, in any part of the world, because she loved dancing, but today that makes money. So my first part is know your passion, you will find a job. Number two is, as a policy maker, there are only 2 vaccines, for long term. One is startups, and the second is skill development. I think as a policy maker, if I apply these two vaccines, I mean, we are now talking seriously building a nation. Because the skill development, which is relevant to the future, and a startup, remember a Birla was a startup one day, a Tata was a startup, a Tech Mahindra was a startup, a Infosys was a startup. And if today Tech Mahindra has 130,000 employees, it is because the oxygen that this startup got and has now become a viable, thriving 40,000 crore business. So, two strong requests to all the policymakers: let's overinvest in startup nation, let's overinvest in skill development.
So moving on to the social media. Mr. Gurnani, you're quite active on social media. We see you on Twitter, we see you on LinkedIn, and probably you're there on Facebook also. Something, I mean, tell us, what do you find so interesting about social media, and do you particularly see it as a change maker, a great change maker, kind of a catalyst?
So, Preeti, one is, let's all realize what is the axis on which the whole of the world rotates. Whether you are a teenager or whether you are a 100-year-old person, it rotates not around the panchayat or the gossip that used to happen near a pawn shop. Now that access has evolved, it has made you be digital. It is anticipated that the number of internet connections in rural will cross the urban by 2025. So, if you are going to become a digital nation, if you're going to become a smart nation, somewhere social media has a role to play. I, in the beginning of the interview, spoke to you about a achar maker in Amethi being able to sell their achar in Koramangala, Bangalore. Why? Because we are now a smart nation. Number two, that somebody can model and post their photographs on Instagram, and depending on the followers, they get even paid for it. I think that's a modern world. The third person is me. As I told you, I studied in 7 schools. But if I am in close contact with some of my schoolmates, it is thanks to the Facebook. Fourthly, Twitter. I mean, I am able to communicate with my employees and my colleagues faster on a Twitter than I am able to communicate through my internal newsletters. Why? Because this 140 words, short burst of messages, comments, sharing my personal life, sharing my business opinion, sharing my critical opinion on Afghanistan or any other current topic, it allows me to engage with 130,000 employees simultaneously. So I'm glad we have social media. I'm sure all our viewers are on social media. That's how they're following us. So, Preeti, I'm so glad that we all are continuing to embrace social media. And I do hope that you get more viewers and I continue to remain two-way connected with all the people in my life.
It was really nice talking to you, Mr. Gurnani. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your thoughts with us and your experience and your stories. For my viewers, don't forget sharing, subscribing, liking, and pressing the bell icon. Do write in a comment section if you want us to cover any other issue and discuss on it. We'll be happy to bring them to you. I'll be back soon with you in the next episode of Nation Talks. Till then, stay safe, stay happy. Thank you once again, Mr. Gurnani.